All right, let's look at ICA 15.2, continuing to look at our market capitalization, total capital structure, all of those things that we have here, okay? Continuing the problem, David Inc. currently has $20 million in total capital structure, all equity. However, they would like to issue $8 million in bonds at 6% interest to retire or to buy back $8 million of the 2 million shares of common stock they currently have. Their earnings before interest and taxes is still $2 million. Growth is 3%. So 5 questions that we need to look at. At A, after they issue their debt, what will be their new debt and equity weights or their structure? B, how many shares of stock will be bought back? How many will remain outstanding? C, what is the interest expense on the new bonds? D, what is their new net income after issuing the bonds, assuming no taxes? And D or E, calculate their new earnings per share, cost of equity, and weighted average cost of capital. So let's look at these. A, after they issue their debt, what will be their new debt and equity weight? So $20 million is their current capital structure, all equity. They are going to issue $8 million in debt, which means the remaining is $12 million in equity. $12 million in equity that we'd have. Okay, so their weight, to find the weights, debt weight is your total debt divided by your total capitalization. And for equity would be your total equity of $12 million divided by the $20 million total capitalization that we'd have. So that's their new weights or their new ratios. Question B, how many shares of stock will be bought back? How many will remain outstanding? Okay, well, they'll have outstanding equity of 120 or 12 million at $10 each, which that means 12 million divided by $10 each. There's going to be 1.2 million remaining shares outstanding, which means they're going to buy back 800,000 shares that we'd have. So that's question B. 800,000 bought back, 1.2 million left out there. All right, C, what is their interest expense on the new bonds? So you have this $8 million in debt or in bonds at a 6% rate. So that is 8 million times 6% interest would be $480,000 in interest expense, which leads us to question D. What is their new net income after issuing the bonds? Well, we were told their earnings before interest and taxes was $2 million. Their interest expense we just calculated at 480. I'm going to make that a negative to show it's an outflow. So that gives us, if we add those two together, that gives us an earnings before taxes of 1.52 million. And therefore, since there's no taxes, that would be our net income of $1.52 million. And then the last question, E, calculate their earnings per share, cost of equity, and weighted average cost of capital, okay? So we remember from problem 1 that they're going to have 100% payout of their earnings. So therefore, our earnings per share, we'd have our net income of 1.5 million divided by 1.2 million remaining shares. That's going to give us an earnings per share of $1.27. Our growth rate, we're expected a 3% growth rate. So therefore, we use our formula. Dividend 1 would be $1.27 divided by our price of $10 that we have up here, plus our growth rate of 30% would give us that. All right, so lastly, our weighted average cost of capital that we'd have. In order to calculate that, we've got to go back to our weights at the top and multiply each one times the cost that we have, okay? So we have this. First of all, we're going to go with our debt weight, 40% of our capital times our 6%, plus for equity, we have a 60% equity weight times our 15.67%. So we have our debt weight, our equity weight added together. That's going to give us a weighted average cost of capital of 11.8%.